Hey guys, welcome back to another episode of Edge Realty. My name is Joshua Suarez. I'm the Chief Marketing Officer of Edge Realty. Behind the boards, I've got Tracer Austin as always. And today, one of our very special guests that we have in studio with us is none other than Mayor Ken Kincade from the city of Cabot. Sir, thank you so much for being here.
Hey,
we really
thanks
appreciate
for having
it.
me. I'm excited about it.
Now, I want to start off by saying, obviously, thank you. But at the same time, I know you probably don't get this a lot. And I wanted to kind of start off by saying, how are you doing? Because I'm pretty sure you get a lot of people always asking you, like, "Hey, can you do this for me? Can you do that for me? What's the new thing going on?" I wanted to ask you personally, how are you doing?
I'm doing real well. The family's healthy. We've avoided COVID, the whole family, in the last year, and so we're very blessed.
Good deal.
We have our health, and the city's doing well, and we have exciting things coming. So I feel very blessed that I'm a part of it, and I'm very excited about what's to come.
Absolutely. So you having that vision from before? I mean, obviously you've been here pre-COVID, and then going going straight in through the pandemic. What's the biggest, I guess, challenges you kind of had being as mayor of City of Cabot?
Probably the biggest challenge is just trying to make everyone happy. Sometimes you realize you can't make everyone happy, but I sure try to make every group. Try to bring whatever we can to the city and make everyone happy with their city. I've lived here for 41 years, moved here when I was 8 years old, and I love this town. Been offered to move away various times, and this is home. And so I want the city to be better than what I left it as, and I want my kids and grandkids to want to be here, and obviously yours as well. So I have that mindset in mind when I'm trying to do things for the city and make it better, that we will continue to grow and not regress.
Absolutely. I mean, that's I guess that's even just as a parent, I think that's like everybody's wish to just kind of leave the world a little bit better than what they have. But instead of just your children, you got a whole town to worry about as well too. And not only that, and maybe your surrounding areas as well too.
And I enjoy it, and I really do enjoy it. And it's God willing, I want to run again in a year and a half. In 2022. So
yes, sir. Well, good luck to you on that as well too.
Thank you.
We'll be definitely supporting you on that for sure.
Yes.
So tell us a little bit, because I know I feel like a lot of people would like to get to kind of know who is Mayor Ken Kincade a little bit better. Obviously, we know everything as far as everything you've done for the city and everything that you want to do going forward. But as far as maybe obviously you grew up in Cabot, and where'd you go to school?
I went to school at Cabot.
Okay, and
Cabot High School, and then I went to University of Arkansas and University of Arkansas Little Rock.
There you go,
and to get my bachelor's in accounting.
There you go. So, and for those that don't know, I mean, if you don't know, you're probably under a rock. But if those that don't know, you actually own your own CPA firm as well.
Yes, I got a great group of individuals that run day-to-day operations. We have 4.5 people there every day, doing a great job. Very blessed to have them. And I got my CPA 25 years ago or something like that. And I love, being a servant to the people. It's, it's public accounting. So we constantly, we're charged to helping the public. I mean, that's what we do. And that's what I do as mayor. So it was a great fit. Great fit.
That's exactly what my mindset is also too. When I heard that you were running, and I was just kind of like, it makes sense. It makes total sense. Absolutely. Having that business and accounting mindset. I mean, that's probably what the city definitely needed. So I know we have a lot of stuff that we want to talk about. Sure. So let's just kind of just get right into it. I know there's a lot of people. What I love about you is the fact that you are very in touch with the people. You love going to the events. You love being around the people. You love talking to people. You love social media as well too. And that's kind of my realm as well too. So I love following you on social media and all the updates that you put out there. It just makes it seem like you're invested. Exactly. Thank you. So I wanted to kind of start off by a couple things that people are really looking forward to coming to town, like for instance, like Slim Chickens.
Yes.
So how did that come about?
Well, from what I understand, Cabot was one of the areas they were really looking at, and we had to work out some things, but within the mayor's office. But they got everything worked out, and they've received their. I think we did a foundation inspection yesterday, or they requested for one. So I would hope by in the summer, we have Slim Chickens.
That's awesome.
Ready to go, and we're eating there.
Good deal.
It's going to be exciting.
No,
it's good food.
Yeah, absolutely. I know if you guys haven't tried it, it's really great. They have one out towards like Little Rock, I guess is Mayor Sherwood, maybe the closest one.
There's one in Cersei. Oh man, they're everywhere now. There's a couple in Little Rock, one in Cersei, one
There we
in
go.
Conway.
So we're perfect. We'll be right in the middle.
And
And
it's an
awesome.
Arkansas-based company, started out of Fayetteville.
Yep.
Nice. There you
with
go.
two Arkansas graduates, so it's, I mean, it's close to home, so it's something that Cabot needed as a choice.
So excited.
And I know there's other restaurants Cabot want and needs, and we're working on it.
Definitely. Oh my God, we're excited. Me being a foodie, I'm
Yes.
definitely ready for that as well too.
People like choices.
For sure, absolutely. Well, yeah, we're super excited about that. I know there was even talks about like Chick-fil-A even coming. I mean, is that still a possibility?
I think it's a possibility. I really don't know what they're waiting on. I think we have the population and that will support it, and our numbers show that. The A&P reports show that. Our sales tax reports show that. So I'm ready. I'm ready, and I would hope within the next year, 2 years that we have one.
I'm telling you, with driving by, and I always see whenever they bring the giant food truck here, there's a line. I mean, it's, and if not, that parking lot is completely packed for a Chick-fil-A, which is so I think it'd be awesome to have Slim's Chicken and Chick-fil-A in our town. I have a little competitiveness, but I mean, it still gives just as much more variety.
Yeah, just
which
like
is
I said,
awesome.
it's variety. I mean, you're bringing the taxpayers and the citizens and the community a variety.
Most definitely.
And that's what we want to do.
Yeah. I mean, and on top of that, it's more jobs and
more jobs, and it keeps people staying here.
Yes.
That's right.
Yes.
If not, or bring people here as well
I'm
too.
trying to make an economy where people don't need to go to Little Rock. They can stay here. So there's a lot of things we still need. We need a good men's store. Working on that, and some other items that people go to Little Rock for.
And when we say men's store, we mean as far as maybe clothing or
clothing.
Clothing. Okay. All right.
Yes.
Okay.
Yes, I think we need other choices. I know men's clothing doesn't have as many choices as women's clothing here in town, but I would really like to see a nice men's store.
Definitely.
In Cabot.
I agree.
Because that's usually some of the things I go for. It's like a new suit. I'd love to be able to buy my suit here in Cabot.
Keep the tax money in town.
Yeah, keep all the tax money here.
Heck yeah. All right, I didn't even think about that, and I definitely agree. Even me myself, I'm huge on shoes. I'm huge on shoes. I'm clothes in general. And I feel like we, especially here, we like to kind of have a little variety of being able to wear street clothes, but also being able to have a 3-piece suit if we wanted to. So that kind of
maybe we just get a shoes and suit store.
There you go. Yes, yes.
That'd be wonderful.
Somebody start that, please, right now.
Shoes and suits.
Trademark right there. Awesome.
Exciting.
It's super exciting. All right, so another great thing that's coming into town, and I mean, I was late on finding this out as far as, so I didn't get to get enough information on it, but I know enough about the store to kind of know that it's a big deal. The breaking ground on Atwoods.
Yes.
Tell me a little bit. What's your thoughts and your feelings on everything going on with that?
A lot of people, when we posted that, they were upset that why didn't you use one of the empty buildings in town.
Oh, okay.
We we always try that. We've tried it the past 2 years and 2 months I've been mayor. Some of these owners don't want to sell. They want to rent, and some of them want maybe more money than is needed by the current buyer because they need to do so much to how they want their store to be. So it's kind of like building your house. Do you want to buy a used house, or do you want to build a new house? Atwoods wanted to build their floor plan. This was their 69th store, I believe. I could be wrong. It could be 67th, but I think it's 69th. But it's going to be their footprint of how they want their store to run.
Yeah.
And I guess you can transfer people in and out, training-wise and everything. So, I guess, they're smart people. They're intelligent businessmen and women. And, obviously they run the numbers to see what was the best. And in this case, it was best to buy their own land and build the store the way they want it.
Most definitely.
Than buying an existing building in town.
If I had to ask you, why would you think that a lot of these, commercial landowners or building owners, why are they not wanting to, maybe work or sell with their properties?
We look at it from on our side as a beautification. All that's just ugly. But a lot of these people do not see the numbers I see and how successful Cabot is. And that's what this investor's looking at. And they can think, I'll sit on this a little bit longer because someone's eventually going to pay me what I want. Because this is a growing city that's very successful. And that's what they're doing. And people are impatient. So am I. I wish they were already done or demolished or whatever needs to happen.
Yeah.
And we have beautification in town, but it just takes longer than people think. It's frustrating, and I get it, and I understand where they're coming from, but I can promise them we're constantly trying to get people to buy these buildings.
And now, is it just maybe is it figures like they're not getting enough as far as an offer goes, or is it they just straight out don't want to sell?
It's more that they're not getting enough of what they want for the building.
Okay.
Because to bring the building up to code, and as well as construction costs right now, it costs a lot of money. So it's really putting them out of their budget of where they want to be at the price they want to sell the building at.
Yes,
so
sir.
We've got to work on that, figure out what makes sense, and try and try like we've been doing. But obviously, and I agree with him, I need to try harder. So,
yeah. In your opinion,
it falls on me.
Yeah, well, I mean, I think it falls on everybody, really. To be honest with you, it's when it comes to that, it's a community. At the end of the day, it's still a community, and it takes more than one person to kind of work together to be able to make that happen. Obviously, like with your position is extremely important, and I mean, without it, we wouldn't be able to sustain our community and even grow. So, which is what we love to see. Now. But when it comes to like those buildings and such, I mean, I feel as though, is there, in your opinion, what would you feel would be the perfect scenario for both sides? I mean, would it be where somebody can have enough money to offer what they want, or is it kind of meeting in the middle as far as maybe not negotiating on price, but being able to say, hey, we'll put this into it if we do it, or what's your honest opinion?
Well, I think there are situations where all that has happened, where there's a set price or, okay, I'll pay you this if you get all this done for me inside, some leasehold improvements. We've worked it all different ways. We just haven't found the right one. Now, I know one of the buildings was going to rent to someone, and I can't tell you whom. I'm sorry, not rent, but buy. But when COVID hit, it destroyed the deal. So, we're really a year behind. Like we're going to talk later, I think, about a bond issue.
Yes, sir.
Which I wanted to do that last year. But when COVID hit, it kind of, we didn't know where we were going to go. We didn't know how the city was going to be.
Yeah.
The support the citizens gave us was tremendously awesome, supporting our town. So, but we didn't know that was going to happen. And I know we'll talk about that later. But I just, we had to put it off a year. So that's why we're back here now, ready to go, excited as ever. About what we can do for the city and how we can make it a lot better.
Great, yeah, absolutely. Now, kind of going back to Slim Chickens, and I think this is a question a lot of people had is, the location for Slim Chickens. Not saying that it's a bad location, but why do that versus not getting a new property like we did for Atwoods?
Sure. That's another thing we hear is why do they have to put it on the most busiest side of town? Well, as an entrepreneur, you're wanting to put it where the traffic count is highest.
Most definitely.
And the most people are going to be because they know you're going to come eat at their restaurant, and that's why they pick that place. Of course, I live on the south side of town, so I'd love to have more restaurants because I seem to drive from my house all the way across town, 15 minutes to get something to eat. I'll drive all the way back home because there's not much on the south side of town. I mean, people like choices and don't want to eat the same thing every day, but we do go to the restaurants on the south side of town. But, people want choices. So, but they thought that was the best area, and that's where they picked it.
Okay.
So you can't, it's hard. You wish you could get in the minds of these individual investors and kind of give them some voodoo and say, no, you need to be over here. But it doesn't work that way.
Right.
But we try to give them options, but in the end, it's where they want to be.
I mean, either way, I'm fine with it. I'll be honest with you.
That Northwest Arkansas deal from the Waltons to borrow some of their parking lot.
Yeah, they could have. I don't think that's the case, but they just know that'd be a great location.
Oh, definitely.
And they would have a high traffic count and a lot of people wanting to eat at their restaurant.
My question for that to you is, what about it may already be a topic, traffic situation with Slim's going there and it being like a high demand place and Walmart being a high demand place for Cabot. What do you see the traffic turning into right there? Because it's already it's kind of hard to get in and out.
We have two things working right now. One item is about to start construction. We're doing a traffic light upgrade. Okay. So what'll happen is the lights we have now are 1960s, 1950s. They're on a timer.
Damn.
So we're having a $1 million project starting this month, and it will end hopefully in September. And we'll have a computer screen, big TV screen at our street shop. It will have every light location in town. And the computer will talk to each other. And so when we have a train or something that backs everybody up, it'll know to reset and let people through longer so we don't have all these traffic gridlots. In addition, over by Walmart, Arkansas Highway Department is going to build an 8-lane overpass starting this summer that we're going to tear down the existing overpass, do a new one, and then right there at Rockwood, there's going to be a large roundabout.
Oh,
Oh,
wow.
okay.
So that should clear out the traffic. I know some people do not like roundabouts, but this was the
Once you figure them out, they are.
Yes.
this is what RDOT has recommended. But I encourage anyone that doesn't want one, please contact Arkansas Department of Transportation.
Ultimately, it's their choice, right? Or does the city of
It's
Cabot
their
have a say?
choice because
that's
it's a state
technically a
highway. State
right?
highway,
Yeah. Okay.
right?
I think a roundabout would be
They
great.
they take input from
Definitely.
individuals and the citizens, and they might adjust some things here and there, but they're really good about taking the input. So if you're not for it, who's ever listening out there, please call Arkansas Department of Transportation and let them know.
Or if not, go to Conway and then and test those out that they have out there as
Sure.
well too. The roundabouts out there are,
Hey,
are
if they
actually a
didn't
really
work,
good
they
idea.
wouldn't be there.
Right, and
Conway's
yeah.
just as, I mean, they're a busy city just like Cabot.
I believe so. Yeah, so I think that's a
think it's a
great
great
idea. I had no idea about that.
I'm
this-
excited.
That's awesome. That's great to know.
Yep.
So when we're talking about the area, it's what Rockwood, Rockwood, and Main Street right there is what we're speaking about. That's gonna be a game changer right there.
Yeah, so they'll get rid of those lights, and there'll be one light in the middle of the bridge. There'll be a
Nice.
single point urban interchange,
Oh, wow.
and it'll be able to slingshot people off of the freeway, down Main Street,
That's great.
down the other end of Main Street, to Rockwood, and it'll be really nice.
That's great. That's awesome.
So traffic help is
I'm excited
coming.
for that.
Yeah.
I'm excited for that. That's
We've
what
been-
I'm so happy.
Our office has been working on the traffic upgrades, light upgrades for 2 years and 2 months.
Wow.
So it's finally getting, because we had to do environmentals, we had to do
Yeah.
engineering work, we received 500,000 grants.
Nice.
So it's been a
It's not
long
easy.
road.
Long
It's not
road,
an easy
yeah.
project to upgrade.
No pun intended.
70-year-old stoplights.
Absolutely, no pun intended. But it's a long road. That's right.
Yeah.
So
excited.
speaking of roads, the big thing that the huge news that even went on the news on television, the bonds that are being proposed. Walk us through a little bit about that.
Well, what I did was make up a list of what I thought everyone wanted, from my 6 months of running for mayor to my 2 years and 2 months of being mayor, of what's the most important. And what I hear is internet's horrible. I hear the roads are horrible and traffic's horrible. So basically what they're telling me is our infrastructure definitely needs upgrade.
Yes, sir.
So basically, we've come up with a list of the roads that we think needs fixed or drainage projects that needs done, and we've used RMT technology to figure out objectively which roads are the worst. And we have data for the past 2 years that have been on our vehicles plotting the roads for the last 2 years. So we have good data we've been working with. So nothing is subjective. I'm not paving somebody's road that somebody say I might be buddies with. The reason that's why I got the software, so we can get an objective analysis of where the worst roads are in town.
Yeah, and to give a little bit of a backstory. I mean, it's correct me if I'm wrong. It's units that are attached to the city vehicles, and they're monitoring and recording information with GPS included into an entire program that somebody's being reported, and it's just collecting constant information as those vehicles are being transported throughout town. Sorry,
You're
so
correct.
yes.
You're correct. So that helps us come up with a plan, and it rates them either 1 through 5, 5 being the best, or A through F, however you want to look at it. And then we take that data and we've come out which roads need overlaid, which roads needs just fixed, which roads needs just milled. And we've come up with a plan that $16 million over 3 years we could do. Because you have to spend the money within 3 years.
All right.
Because a non-taxable bond issue has to be 3 years. Now, taxable we can take as long as we want, but that'll be a higher rate to the city. So, of course, we're going to do non-taxable, and hopefully it'll be under 2%. is what we'll be able to
Wow,
borrow.
that'd be great. That'd be great. Absolutely. So as far as like the now, how close are we to finding out which areas need the most work?
Well, we already have a list, and I don't have it with me. We
Okay.
have a list that we've disclosed to the public on February 22nd.
Okay.
Now we are still looking at that list and massaging it and trying to get more exact details of what it will cost, because if we ask for 16 million, that's all we get
Right.
if the taxpayers approve it.
Mm-hmm.
So, if we end up needing 17,
That's
we're out of luck.
Yeah.
So we're trying to make sure, do we need 16? Do we need 17? Do we need 15? Then we can spread that money somewhere else. For like the internet, we're figuring we need 20 million to buy the fiber. And my plan is to buy all the fiber for the city, lay it where everyone in the city could get access to internet, and then outsource that and partner with a ISP to be the internet service provider. And we will be partners with someone else.
Are there any talks of who we want to bring in?
I can't really say that because we're supposed to legally put out a request for qualifications.
Okay.
And we're going to do that here in the next month or so. And then we'll get whoever's interested, and then we can analyze them and have talks with who do we think would be the best fit for Cabot.
Fair enough. Fair enough.
That's awesome.
Now, with the ones, maybe not speaking about who they are, but maybe what they offer. And we're talking about getting fiber wire into the city, which I know right now we're more about I think just cable wire.
Yeah.
We're a cable wire right now with and I think that almost, if I'm not mistaken, I'm not big on that part of technology, but I know it probably will almost double the speed of what we have right now.
I think it'd be 10 times.
There you go. You say that. You probably
It'd be
know-
like
you know better
magic.
than I.
Oh,
yeah.
yeah.
Oh, yeah, absolutely.
It's magic.
So I mean, and especially now in the time that everybody's streaming, especially now everybody's working from home,
Basically
virtually.
required at
It's
this
almost
point.
it's almost a necessity. Yeah. It's
If we
almost
get this done, we'll be technology-wise, I believe we'll be the hottest city in Arkansas.
That's awesome. Oh man,
That's a big
That's a
step right
that's
there,
a
baby.
that's a big statement right there, and I love it.
Someone may come back and go, no, we've already got our town wire and you're not. Well, okay.
Hey,
Let me know that. But
have you ever
of
watched
course,
Parks?
I'm touting it.
Have you ever watched Parks and Rec?
Yes.
So can we be the first city to have like free Wi-Fi? Is that something that's possible?
Well, maybe downtown area, of
Yeah,
course.
yeah.
But not, to your homes or anything. Of
course,
we
right.
can't do that. But I think that's something that we need to do, is that when you're downtown, that you're able to get free Wi-Fi when you're enjoying the arts and entertainment district, or, we're looking at getting scooters. We've got to work with the city council on revising our street plan, sidewalk plan, that we can have scooters on there. Little Rock did it. I don't know. We haven't presented it to the council yet, so they'll have to look at it and see what the pros and cons of it are. But that's something else we want to do. We've got someone that wants to give us 75 scooters right now.
Wow.
Is that just donated, or how does that work?
Well,
They probably make money off the people using the app.
Yeah, that's what I'm thinking.
yes, they make money off the rides that you get, and then the person doing it maybe gets a nickel or something for every so far, and then we're still in the process of figuring out how it's all going to work. But that's something that we would love to happen for our citizens.
Yeah.
Barring the council thinks it's a good idea, but we'll have to wait for them to approve it. But
Right.
we're working that direction to present them a plan.
Now with all these aspirations, this is the part I like talking about, is like the big aspirations for like even future, even if it's not within like the next 3 years or 4 years. What's something that you really, if you had enough time, that it'd be probably the most ambitious thing that you would do for the city?
I think the most ambitious thing, there's a lot of them, but the major thing, we talked about traffic, is I think we need to have an overpass. Love to see an overpass over Locust Street,
Yes.
going down in the schools, and to redo Locust to 4 or 5 lanes to make that the quick way to get through the city and leave downtown for downtown traffic,
Definitely.
which would really help this whole side of town on our traffic issues.
That'd be
Is
insane.
Locust the one that goes by North Side?
Yes.
Right?
Mhm.
Okay. That would be.
Yeah.
So when you come over that
yeah.
overpass, you look over the beautiful school system that's been built,
Yes.
and it'd be beautiful.
That'd be amazing.
That's
that
what
would
I'd love
help
to
a
see.
lot, Yeah.
That's perfect.
So that's something you think could be done, though.
I think it could be done. We'd have to buy some houses and some right of ways through there, and get
I
some
think
help
people
with
would be pretty
different
on board
agencies.
for it.
I think it would be something that could be highly considered but
Yeah.
we're talking a whole lot of money.
Right, right.
Oh,
But
And
I think it's
of
something our
course-
town needs.
And of course, a lot of the other things that we've been speaking about would have to be done before we kind of get to that point, of course. But it almost kind of blends. It's like a puzzle that will play on into that,
Yes.
which is great. Oh my goodness, I would be extremely excited. Is there anything that you can kind of maybe hint on as far as maybe something else is coming new into town? I know we have, like we said, we have Atwoods, we have possibly Chick-fil-A even considering coming into Cabot. Is there anything else that's you can kind of give us an inside scoop on?
Freddy's.
Freddy's.
Oh,
Okay, all right.
There's one more option.
So what's going on with Freddy's? Where are they wanting to go?
They want to be here real bad. I can't tell you where yet, but the owners are great people, and their food is great.
Yes.
Family atmosphere. Very excited about it. I love the chicken sandwich from Freddy's.
Yes.
I think it's really, really good, and the fries, of course.
I was gonna say fries.
But, the owners of this group are wonderful people, and I'm doing everything I can to make it to where they can get here as quickly as possible, and we're hoping this year.
Oh, that's gonna be wow.
That's
That's
much
huge.
needed. That's
That's
another,
huge.
Another need.
That's amazing. All right, so as far as what about I know we didn't really put this in the talking points that I kind of gave you, but I did want to kind of talk a little bit about obviously what we're in the middle of, what the entire world is in the middle of with the pandemic. What's your thoughts on going forward? I know the governor has already said that they're gonna lift the mandate by the end of March. What's your thoughts on what's going on with that? I mean, what's your predictions?
I think that's a fine idea, but I believe that still, if a store or a business feels like you need a mask to go into their store, I would understand that, respect that. And then if you don't want to shop there, just don't go there. I think that's the way it should have been to begin with. In my mind, is let the people decide. We knew what was going on, and but I think this will really help morale.
Yes.
But I'm glad we kind of had this so people are more aware of their germs, and that they need to wash their hands.
Yeah.
And that they need to be respectful when they sneeze, and cough on people. You and I both have seen people.
It's funny that you had to say that, but yeah, it's true.
Kind of clueless of where they're at in a certain situation, but I think this has helped people realize that it's more than about them; it's about others. So there's I'm trying to think of the positives from
Most
this
definitely.
this
I think
COVID.
it's opened up a lot of eyes and more than just that too. So
Right.
Almost
Right, I
creating
agree.
a new norm. I mean, which I think,
in a good way.
like you said, it was needed. I think to people being a little more conscious about, again, not about themselves, like you just said, about others. Being, just I guess aware of keeping others surroundings and other people safe as well too. I think that's
I never thought about wearing a mask or covering up, talking to my grandparents until now. Or if an older couple comes in my office, I don't want to do anything to get them sick.
right.
I may be okay, but I may be holding the flu and it's not affecting me. But then if I talk to them, I could be giving them the flu. So that's something that has helped me out of this, the positives of it, to know, hey, I just need to cover my mouth up or stay away from them, don't get near them, and make sure I don't pass anything on.
I think it's funny, like
I don't want to get them sick.
Yeah, as a culture here in the United States, I think it's funny that we're a little behind when it comes to that. Just because I lived in Japan for 4 years, and being over there, they you'll see. When I first got there, I'd get on the train and I'd see people, wearing a mask, and I'm like, "What's going on?"
Oh, yeah, me too.
I was like, at first, I'm like, "Are they like sick? Like, they have a disease? Like, or are they just paranoid? What's going on? What's their mindset?" And come to find out, when I start talking to people that have been there for a while, they're telling me that it's just a sign of of respect and awareness. That if they know if they have even like the smallest cough, they don't want to share it with anybody.
That's right.
You know what I mean? So that's just they just how we had masks here in almost every single store during the pandemic. That's a normal thing over there. They have masks everywhere you go. And
it
it's
just goes back to your choice.
right, and it goes back to your choice, exactly right. And so I mean, yeah, obviously you have people that it doesn't bother them as much, but then there were people that were. I just thought it was funny as a culture. That's part of their culture already, and they've had it that way.
New for them.
It wasn't new for them, right? So I think that was interesting to see. And then, but even coming back, I was like, okay, it's still normal. It's not anything bad. It's just that's how they're over there. And then the pandemic happens, and it's just kind of interesting to kind of see that transition of like, oh, we're kind of almost
That's right.
Following the new culture, I guess.
That's right.
I actually have a question since we're talking about people coughing all over each other and Cabot growth period. I guess it's been a while since the last census, or we just did one. Do we know the population in Cabot yet?
We were supposed to know end of March, 1st of April, but they've kind of pushed it to maybe September, October.
Okay.
So we're going to be.
I'm really curious to see how much in the last 2
Well,
years.
it's a big deal. We want to know the number. Then it's a big deal because you got to redraw all the lines.
Yes.
The voting lines and the congressional lines and the state lines for candidates. And we're going to use Metro Plan to do ours. So each of our 4 wards will be redrawn to make it, the same amount of population as best as we can in each ward. So it's very important from a voting standpoint to get that done, and from a money standpoint because we will get more state turnback money when we get it. So we really want that done real quick.
Absolutely,
we're ready.
Heck yeah,
we're ready for some.
Another question
more
to that would be what, and this has been brought up in the past before in previous mayors, like annexing Austin into Cabot, like making that part of Cabot, since we already kind of think Austin Ward as Cabot since they're in our school district. What's the consideration of just becoming Cabot?
I have no idea. I mean, I think the people of Austin and their city council and their mayor might have something different to say about that. But, we have a great relationship with Austin. I have a great relationship with Mayor Chamberlain and then from Ward, Mayor Gastineau. And we work all well together. We're working on right now, if y'all didn't know, the engineering work to do a 12-foot walk-run path from Cabot to Ward.
Wow.
Down 2nd Street, 367.
Oh, dang. Okay, yeah.
And hopefully we'll have the engineering ready to present to Metro Plan in the fall about getting the grant to complete that.
Yeah.
So we're trying to become one city together or connect us together. So, it's like a little metro area. And then from there, we'll go to connect to Jacksonville, and then Jacksonville to Sherwood. And then eventually the plan is to be able to go from Ward to Hot Springs.
Kind of like what they're doing in Northwest Arkansas with the bike path that goes from like Mount Kessler all the way to Rogers. You can ride your bicycle 25, 30
That
miles.
is awesome.
I'm on the Metro Plan board, and we want to consider Arkansas, or this area, Central Arkansas, just like they consider Northwest Arkansas. Not Cabot, Jacksonville,
the whole area.
Sherwood, North Rock, Little Rock. We want to be one area because if one person gets a big manufacturing plant, it really affects us all.
Yes.
Because people are going to live in all around the areas. So I mean, every city succeeds. So why not consider ourselves one area,
the 501,
and then work together?
Absolutely.
I love that idea.
We're so close as it is. I mean, it's like you said, one's going to affect the other, and why not affect it in a positive way? You know what I mean? And just work together instead of kind of separating everybody.
I've always wondered that, like, because you see, like, the camaraderie of the Northwest Arkansas area, and you're like, wow, there's just as much going on here, a little less, but it was missing that glue together. So that's really positive.
I can definitely vouch that your leaders of this area are bonding together.
Good deal.
We all get along. We meet once a month, and it's pretty great. There's a lot of great mayors and judges out there that want the best for our area.
Well, that's what we need for sure. That's what we need. Now, I want to kind of go back into like the bonds just a little bit. With the bonds, as far as for the roads, what are some difficulties that you feel like you've had? Because I know there's been an incredible amount of meetings that you've already had, not only with the council but with also public meetings as well too. What kind of big struggles or concerns have people been kind of bringing up that they're worried about?
Well, the biggest concern is, gridlock, and the second biggest concern is just making the roads and the infrastructure back to where it's needed. Okay, and that takes a whole lot of money. And then we're surrounded by state highways. So we have to work with the highway department all the time on corresponding with them. They let us fix the potholes on the state highway if they grant us permission, but we have to ask them because it is their road, not our road, even though it's in our town. It's hard for people to understand that.
Right.
I get it. It's hard for me to understand it too. Even 2 years, 2 months into mayor, I wish I had more latitude, but I don't, and that's fine. But as long as you have a great relationship, and we do with RDOT, and like some of the potholes on state highways people were concerned about, we got them fixed the next day because we received permission to go ahead and get them done. And
I saw them out there.
And they'll come back and do whatever needs to happen that we didn't get done the way they want it to do to their specs.
Yeah,
and that's great, just as long as we can help save the people and have public safety, health, and welfare is what we're concerned about. And they work with us. But like it is with everything, if you don't have a great relationship with someone, it could be detrimental.
Oh, most definitely.
But I have a great relationship with the Arkansas Department of Transportation and the leadership, and my staff does too, and we all work well together. And like I said, you saw it fixed within a day.
Mm-hmm.
That's great. That's great. So, I mean, speaking of highways, I mean, any have you got any insight on the future I-57?
You know, they haven't told me kind of when that's going to be official.
Mm-hmm.
I know they're still trying to connect some spots up in Northwest Arkansas. So, you know, we'll wait and see. But it's going to make a big influence on Cabot.
Most definitely. And what about as far as the production of the highway continuing in through Cabot and everything? Have they said anything on how soon that's going to be?
Which part now?
So going from, I guess, like the first exit of Cabot and going north on I-67, is there anything else that's going to keep happening?
Yes, they're going to do the 2 overpasses and that at the same time starting this summer.
Okay.
Wow.
So we're going to have 2 years of crazy construction.
Yeah.
It's much needed.
Yeah, what they're going to do is build a 4-lane overpass next to the 2 old ones.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
And then they're going to destroy the old one.
Oh, okay.
And build another 4-lane. And it's got a kind of sliding bridge, build and slide.
Mm-hmm.
Is what they're going to do.
Yeah, almost
their bridges.
So
and
have a temporary one that then bring the
and then
actual
doing the 3rd lane on each side of the freeway, and then redoing it all.
Oh,
so
wow. Okay.
It'll be 3 lanes from Cabot 19 all the way into, and they're going to do the Jacksonville part as well at the same time.
Wow.
That they've been working on for years.
That's
so
huge.
it'll be 3 lanes all the way into Little Rock.
Oh, that's so
from
needed.
exit 19.
Thank God. That'll really make Cabot a much more desirable place.
I think so
yeah,
too,
definitely.
and not only that, but just the flow of things, you know, and then that'll for us that'll open up real estate as well too. People wanting to live in different parts of Cabot as well too, not just with business.
The opportunity literally opens a whole new lane.
Oh, literally, yeah.
Yeah, that's why I said that overpass is so important.
Mm-hmm.
My big plan, because once they get the I-57 going and we expand more, I think our population will go up between 10 and 20,000 next 10 years.
Wow.
Is
That's
what I
huge.
foresee. So we really need to get a bypass through town to get to the schools.
So for people that are wanting to get more information on this, or if they want to even have some input on it, what's a good way for them to kind of do that?
Well, a lot of people email me all the time, ken@cabotar.gov, give me their thought processes, and I email them back, say it's a great idea, where are we working on this, here's where we're at, take some time. But they reach out to me or they message me on Facebook or email me or text me. So they're not shy. No one's shy. And I tell them I want you to get with me, and they do.
Definitely.
And I get with them back as quickly as I can. So, you know, there's been a lot of help. People support me in this vision.
Good deal.
That's good. You got to have a team. Can't make it by yourself.
Right. I mean, it's going to take the people to say yes or no to this bond issue.
That's right. Yeah, that's true.
So it's not us. We're just providing the idea. You got to say yes or no.
And so with that, I mean, is it something that's going to be taxed to the public as well too? Is it included?
It's a rededication of the current sales tax.
Okay.
So it's not a new tax. It's basically if we borrow the money that we're asking for, instead of paying off the sales tax bonds in 2026, I believe, it would add another 14 years.
Okay.
I could be wrong about those dates, but basically adds another 14 years of debt.
Okay.
And that's if the city doesn't grow at all. If the city grows as planned, we could pay off that debt in 10 years.
Oh, good deal. All right.
So
sure. I mean,
it's
the way it's looking. I mean, it's gonna.
Yes.
It doesn't stop growing anyway.
Our last 10 years of growth was 4.1% on average.
Wow.
Dang.
That's huge.
Dang.
Gosh. Okay. All right. So I think with all the construction going on as well too. I mean, even with construction prices going up, I think it's still happening. It's not slowing down. If anything, it's
somebody that has an old home is getting a whole lot of money for it. Right
yeah,
now.
that's right. That's right. Oh my goodness! I mean, I can honestly sit here and talk to you all day. I know you have stuff you got to do. You're extremely busy man, but I just wanted to appreciate you and say thank you so much for being here with us today.
That was my
taking
pleasure.
The time to talk.
Anytime
to us.
y'all want to talk, I'll come down here and we'll do a
Hey, we'll make it a thing. We'll come out here and just have some coffee or something like that and talk about anything at all. It doesn't even have to be about work.
That sounds
good. We
good.
can talk about the Razorbacks. I was gonna say, what do you think the Razorbacks are gonna be doing this year?
Man, I'm a huge fan. Very excited about this basketball team.
Mm-hmm.
I've watched every game. Hopefully, I can go up to Fayetteville this weekend and watch the A&M game. and see my son. My son's a sophomore at University of Arkansas. A baseball team is awesome.
Yes.
Hopefully we're going back to Omaha.
Yes.
And football team with Sam Pittman. I think you're going to see the same thing that Musselman's done with the football team. I think we're going to be pretty surprised.
That's right.
Going forward. So
SEC better watch out.
SEC better watch out, man. We're tough. SEC's tough, but Arkansas, man, I'm so excited. They were talking about that we haven't had a 10-game winning streak since 1994.
Yes.
We won national championship, and then we haven't played a top 20 team. Well, we're a top 20 team since 1998.
Dang, I didn't know that.
So it's just been nuts of how long it's truly been that we're back to this spot, and it's exciting. I guess right now they have us as a 3 seed in the tournament.
Yeah,
NCAA tournament.
And I think their last game was against South
And
Carolina.
we're on Baylor's side, so we got a shot.
And they just killed South Carolina by like 20 or 30 points, I think, this last game.
Yeah, last night.
Crazy.
It was a good game. Yeah, we were looking good.
That was
Scored
good.
101 points, the most ever in the SEC that we've scored.
Wow.
We just set the record last night.
That's awesome. And the girls are doing great too as well. I mean, the ladies
Women's team are doing wonderful.
I think she what's that? I forget her name, but she scored the most points out of any Razorback female basketball player ever. Like over 2,000 points, I think, something like that.
That's crazy.
You know, well, it's about time. I mean, if you go up to Fayetteville, and I know y'all all have, I mean, the campus is beautiful. The scenery is beautiful. The area is gorgeous. I think it's in the top 5 best places to live in the country.
I fully agree.
I agree.
So, I
For
mean,
4 years. And,
so with all that going on, we shouldn't have 5-star recruits.
That's
I
right.
mean, I know we haven't gotten many, but I see that coming this year.
For sure.
That we're going to get some 5-star recruits.
For sure.
In basketball
Absolutely.
and football.
Well, hey, good sir. I appreciate it. Thank you for your insight on that as well, too. We can talk about that all day. That'd be a whole nother segment as well, too.
That's fun to talk about.
As always, you guys, thank you guys so much for tuning in as well, too. Again, thank you to Mayor Ken Kincade for having us here as well. You got Tracer Austin behind the boards. I'm Yashua Suarez. This has been another edition of Edge Realty's podcast. Thank you guys so much, and tune for more. All right.
Thanks for having me.
Thank you, sir.